Hey, it's Buddy Lee. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we're looking at War 6 of Season 33, and we have a tough matchup against New Nation. And they weren't very kind to me because they banned Tigra, so I'll be using a different team this war with Penny, White Max, and Silver Surfer will be making an appearance for a few fights. So we brought Penny for the hazard shift path in section 1, and I was a little concerned about this first fight against Void. Penny is immune to poison and incinerate, however she does herd damage through incinerate on her SP2, and Void's immune, so it's going to be a long fight. Void is great for this node because of the Schadenfreude, so if he places any of his debuffs on me, he gets a huge 480% Fury buff, and that can get out of control quickly with this fun and interactive damage, so I'll try to remove those debuffs before they stick, or as quickly as possible if they do get placed on me. One nice thing here is that Penny's special attacks have so many hits that they can quickly get to the next 10 hit mark to remove the debuffs. So we use the SP1 here to remove the debuffs before it can stick, but we aren't doing great damage and we won't be able to really in this fight, so we just have to keep focused. This time we weren't set up to remove the debuff and he gets the big fury, and that one debuff was ticking us down at over 1k per tick. Now I'm waiting for the right timing to remove the next debuff, and I let him land a few hits on me, so that reset my combo meter, and that debuff gets placed on me, so I have to rush to throw another special to get it removed. I've kinda lost focus on the second half of this fight, and I keep letting those debuffs apply. I'm really ready for this fight to be over at this point. So we make it through the fight, but it was a pretty uncomfortable one without being able to access Penny's big damage. It took us 137 hits in total. We go ahead and heal up, and now it's time to face Weapon X. That last fight took so long that we only got one fight out of the invulnerability boost, so we need to pop another one. We land a few combos and Weapon X throws his SP1 going into Berserk mode. I wait for the Unstoppable to fall off and then look for an intercept, but the opportunity doesn't really present itself and I get cornered and hit a few times. I do land one off the wall and I'm able to throw SP1 at the right time to get the 10 spider charges. Now I miss an intercept and take another combo and I'm cornered again. He throws a heavy and I'm able to counter that with an SP1 and get off the wall. Now the Berserk mode goes on cooldown. So that was super stressful, but things are going to be way easier now as I get to my SP2 to hopefully finish this fight off. He melts away from the SP2 and section 1 was pretty sketchy, but we didn't die. We move on to section 2 to take past 6, and now it's Silver Surfer's time to be shiny. Or, what I mean to say is, it's Surfer's time to shine. The first fight is against a Nihilus, and Surfer actually does pretty well against him because when breaking his armor with heavy, it removes his rod and shuts down his parry resistance and the unstoppable thing he does when dashing back. I'm also going to use some Cosmic Boosts to give him some extra power back and pop on his specials. The fight doesn't start great as I break his armor with heavy and the invisible wears off before I'm ready to block him. Now I'm gonna keep throwing the heavy to activate all 3 of my buffs on the way to getting to SP2. I activate the armor buff and decide to throw SP2 even though it's going to push him to his SP2, and it works out because blocking a Nihilus's SP2 doesn't do too much damage to me. I should have thrown my SP2 right here, but I wait and the power gain falls off. I also didn't notice that he breaks my armor, and when I throw SP2, I don't get unblockable because I need 3 unique debuffs to do that. Our invisible buff is still active for his counter attack though, and he misses, letting us finish him off. A couple little mistakes, but we come out of the fight in decent shape and just have to heal up a little bit. Alright, now we're taking our Surfer up against this Warlock. We're going to use a Power Start 1 boost, and that along with our Cosmic Power Back boost, we should be able to get to SP2 and then cycle back to it again pretty quickly. The nodes here are Prowess Buildup Unblockable and Passively Special, so Warlock gets Prowess passives for each hit of his special we block, unless it's a well-timed block, in which case we'll get a Prowess. And then if Warlock has 3 Prowess, his specials will be unblockable. He also has Hard Knock Life, so if we do any parries, we're going to have a Disorient placed on us. We start with the heavy to activate the power gain buff, and we're just gonna bait heavies for openings instead of parry because of Hard Knock Life. Then we use our heavy again and activate our fury buff. We bait SP1 here, and I'm ready to dex the first 2 hits and I parry the final. This does give us a hard knock life passive, but also a prowess. Then I throw the heavy to get our armor buff, and now we're looking pretty good for throwing the SP2. That was a bit of a close call there, and I want to wait for the hard knock life to fall off before throwing my SP2, so we wait for the current power gain to fall off as well, and then refresh it into our SP2. The SP2 did great damage, and we full dex Warlock's SP1. Now I'm just looking to get back to another SP2 to finish this fight off. Alright, that does it for this fight, and I actually really enjoyed using Surfer as an Alliance War attacker. And that was my last fight for the war. Only 4 fights this time, but they were at least interesting to me. But let's look at how the war ended up. And it was super close the whole time, with us ending up tying 4-4. But our fight time was much higher, so they ended up taking the victory with the tiebreaker. Well, that's it for this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.